We're now about 10 feet off the ground, and if y'all have just a few moments, let's pull about 10,000 feet off the ground and just discuss conceptually one area. Since I'm in town today, I wanted to come and update you on our progress and efforts in the left field wall area, obviously where the confluence between the condo retail project and the ballpark is obviously an area in which it requires a great deal of scrutiny. And I wanted to sort of give you a picture of where we are right now from a construction timing standpoint and also from a budgetary standpoint. Just to step back and talk very briefly about, and I'm sure you have lots of questions, and I'd love to answer all of them. There are a couple of details that will help if we can. When we originally conceived of this left field area, it was easier from an execution standpoint to have design collaborative, design the concourse that people walk on and everything beneath it, because in essence it was closer and literally integrated with the condo retail project. So we, in essence, took that out of HOK scope and just said design collaborative, you're doing the condos and retail, just do all of that together. And hey, while we're thinking about it, probably the most seamless and cost-effective way to do it, again, thinking from the beginning, is just to have Hagerman build it in our condo and retail construction. So Jim and the Wygant team had set a budget in place within the ballpark budget that his estimate would basically cover everything from the concourse that people walk on and everything beneath, all the columns and everything to hold it up in the berms and all the things going on in that area. So it's covered in the ballpark budget, but the majority of which was in essence going to be, we were going to pay for it, and then the city was going to reimburse our private contractors. That's how we originally conceived it. Several months ago, as you remember, it became necessary to go ahead and complete the left field wall, which was $118,000 of this budget that Jim had in place. And you voted to approve, in essence, rather than compensating or reimbursing Barry, you went ahead and change ordered that dollar amount into the ballpark budget. In essence, it's just simply an accounting move to go ahead and allow that work to begin. And as you all know, we find ourselves in a place where, in order to complete the concourse, we need to go ahead and do the balance of those funds. So that's what we're working on right now, is to come up with a hard-coded budget, which we anticipate will be done in the next couple of days, probably within about a week, where in essence we're able to completely go ahead and change order the dollar amount to complete the left field section into the ballpark budget, which again is being held as a placeholder. There's a budget for it, and so it's not like we're going above and beyond. Just to speak a little bit about the design, and obviously, as you know, and I'm happy to answer questions about the changes that we're probably going to be making to the condo portion. But when we set out to make these changes, we were extremely cautious to not alter the public portion. Obviously, there's a lot of integration, but fortunately, we were able to find a way that we literally would not change anything. About the retail space, that will remain completely unchanged, and also, if you in essence draw a vertical line down through the south end of the space between the left field wall and the condo building, everything from the center of the earth to the moon is basically the same, and that was an important fact for the public side from a budgetary standpoint, from a design standpoint. It basically it was an issue of how we park cars for the condo project. So we were able to successfully work all that through, so that it was, in essence, a very clean transaction between the former design and the current. So we were extremely careful to go ahead and do that, make sure that it was all sound. The other thing that became clear was that there was a document that we agreed to almost a year ago, where we sat down with the city and Hagerman and Wygant and said, okay, in essence, we just took markers out and we said, you know, of these walls, of these foundations, of these columns, what is rightly borne by Barry and what is rightly borne by the public? What in essence serves the public and what serves directly the condos? One of the walls that actually needs to be constructed this week was one that Barry, that we agreed was our responsibility. That wall costs about $180,000, and it's just a fact that in order to bear the concourse above it, that private wall needed to be constructed. And so we have agreed and are in the process of signing a contract. If it hasn't been done already, it'll be done in the next day or so. Chris Shane, our Chief Executive Officer, we have the contract ready for him to sign. That's almost a demonstration to you that we are making every effort possible to not hold up the process, and furthermore, you know, this should emphasize our commitment to the progress of the private piece as well. Obviously, that's a fairly substantial amount of money for a private company to bear without a construction loan, but we're happy to do it, and it's important to the project. So that's being done. I guess the thing, just to maybe summarize this, that the construction of that wall that I just spoke about is about a 2-week process, and we need to go ahead in the next couple of days, 10 days or so, order all the materials for the concourse and all the public stuff. So we will be completing our budget analysis here in the next several days, and then be coming back to you in short order to approve, in essence, the transaction that we just talked about. And I'd guess, based on your availability, we'd probably ask for the next 7 to 10 days. I wanted to go ahead and sort of tell you everything now while I'm here, and while you can ask me questions, and make sure that the accountability is there, that y'all understand from our perspective how it moves forward. But you know, I think we're now working on the budget. There's a lot of complexity in the line items and making sure that it all comes in within the budget that we have in place, and that's what we're working on right now. The thing, I guess, the final point is just know that the ballpark will be open. All the amenities that we've talked about from the first day will be there in place on opening day. Obviously, it's not ideal. It's not something we originally conceived of having an active construction site there, but the hotel is going to be an active construction site for 16 months, and we are going to spend money and effort to treat the facade well, and it will be a safe and fun environment that will completely contain, and there will literally be no change to the 360-degree concourse, and all the things that we've touted as positives for the project will all be set and in place for opening.